Think about your favorite movie. The heroes, the twists, the I'll be backs. I'll spare you that impression. Ever wonder how it went from script to screen? You might just be surprised by the answer, because lights, camera, and action aren't the only ingredients that go into a blockbuster. Lots of data does too. The movie business is big business. In 2019, over 700 films hit theaters across North America, to the tune of $35 billion in revenue. So, studios need to arm themselves with as much data as possible to ensure they're making the next hit. But let's rewind. In the 80s, you'd ride your bike to the theater, walk up to the window, claim to be 17, and that was it. Tickets were sold exclusively through the box office, which meant studios had little data to work with, like who you were, how many times you went to see it, and how likely you were to recommend it to others. But soon, customers were purchasing tickets from inside the house. You know, from their computers and eventually their phones. They started interacting with each other on sites like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, reviewing, tweeting, and sharing movies. These new streams of information gave movie studios more insights into who was watching their movies and what they liked. And then streaming platforms came along and added a whole new layer of data. Why is this all a big deal? Because making movies is risky business. No, seriously though. In 2012, the single biggest flop lost over $200 million for the studio that produced it.
You do not find a product in the marketplace anywhere in the world that they even develop it, let alone manufacture it, without first finding out, does somebody want to buy this? Other than the entertainment industry.
It's not just about making great movies. It's also about mitigating risk for a studio investing millions of dollars. And that comes back to data. Traci Hainsworth was well aware of this fact in the late 90s when she pioneered a data-driven greenlighting process at one of Hollywood's biggest studios.
You cannot have enough data when you're a producer. When we started this, there wasn't an internet. It was mostly calling connections at studios. We said, okay, there's got to be a way to do a comparative analysis with other films to see if there is a market for this genre and is there a target audience.
The data analytics that Hollywood relies on behind the scenes started with a very manual process. Traci's team would start with a potential film's pitch commercial.
We had created this Excel format with proprietary formulas in there that we could go in, and every time there was a beat, a moment that was drama, comedy, romance, horror, there was like 8 categories.
From there, Traci and her team would compare the potential film to other existing films' marketing materials to find similarities.
The 5 commercials that most closely matched the numbers on our commercial for our script was our market research. And we would be able to look at that and say, okay, so if you market to this target audience and you release it in spring and it's rated PG-13, you could comparatively make this same box office.
Today, all this data comes together in comprehensive analytics platforms to help studios make better decisions. Studios are even using data to streamline how they make films. Everything from casting, locations, schedules, distribution, and marketing. For instance, greenlighting a script went from weeks to days. And in a streaming world where production averages 3 to 4 months instead of the traditional 2 years, every single day matters. All of this means more laughs, more tears, and more opportunities for you to see your next favorite movie. And cut! That's a wrap.